One day, Miffy was very excited because after school, her dance group was going to practice their new dance during Auntie Alice's dancing class. When school had finished, all the members of the dance group met up outside. Along came Winnie, who was very good at dancing on one leg. Then Melanie arrived, who was wonderful at spinning around. "But where is Grunty?" asked Miffy. "She's the best at doing the jumps." Just then they saw Grunty coming, but Grunty was limping, not jumping. "Oh dear," said Miffy. "What happened, Grunty?" "Why are you limping?" "It happened at the playground," said Grunty. "I fell off the slide and twisted my ankle. I can hardly walk." Just then, Miffy's mother drove up in the car. "Don't worry, Grunty," said Miffy. "You don't have to walk. My mother will drive you up the hill to Auntie Alice's house. She knows how to cure sore ankles." "Yes," said Miffy's mother. "Auntie Alice knows a lot of useful things." So Mother Bunny drove off with Grunty. Miffy, Melanie and Winnie followed on foot. They took a shortcut through the fields, and they all arrived at the same time at Auntie Alice's house, on top of the hill. "I was wondering where you all were," said Auntie Alice. But when she heard that Grunty had hurt herself, she knew exactly what to do. "I'm going to get a cold, wet cloth and wrap it round your ankle, Grunty," said Auntie Alice. "That will make the swelling go away." Grunty sat on a chair with her leg raised on a cushion. It didn't hurt, but she was very sad that she couldn't dance with her friends. Miffy, Winnie and Melanie practiced their part of the dance, but they were sad too because Grunty couldn't join in. "Don't be sad, girls," said Auntie Alice. "It's not so bad. I have some special cream for Grunty's ankle, and I think she will be ready to dance at the school performance next week." When the night of the school performance arrived, everyone wondered whether Grunty would really be able to do her jumps. The curtains opened and beautiful music began to play. First, Winnie danced out onto the stage and lifted one leg. "Bravo! Bravo! Hooray!" Then Melanie came out with her lovely pirouettes, and Miffy followed with a beautiful dance like a swan. Everyone waited to see Grunty. Winnie held her breath. Melanie closed her eyes. Miffy made a wish. Then Grunty appeared and made 3 big jumps across the stage. Everyone cheered. "Hooray! Hooray! Hooray!" Grunty said, "It didn't hurt at all, thanks to Auntie Alice." Mother Bunny had baked some delicious biscuits. Miffy was bringing some to Boris and Barbara Bear. As she walked through the forest, she saw a bird in a tree. At the bottom of the tree, she noticed that there were 1, 2, lots of mushrooms. "And look," she thought, "there are many white clouds up in the sky." She counted 1, 2, 3. Oh, and there are some beautiful butterflies. 1, 2, 3, 4. What else can I count? Then Miffy remembered that beyond the wooden bench there would be a few trees left before she reached Boris and Barbara's house. There was the bench. So she started counting. 1 tree, 2 trees, 3 trees, 4 trees, 5 trees, and there it was. "Hello, Miffy," said Boris. "It's so nice to see you. But look at the sky. There are some very dark clouds up there, and the wind is getting stronger. I think there is a storm on its way, and I should take you home right away." "But I brought some of my mother's delicious biscuits for you and Barbara," said Miffy. "Don't worry, you can visit us again tomorrow. Then we can all have biscuits and tea." So Boris took Miffy home. Soon the wind began to blow harder. Miffy was glad to be safely back at home. All night Miffy heard the wind blowing round the house. The next morning the wind had died down. But when Miffy looked out of her window, she saw leaves and tree branches scattered on the ground. At tea time, Miffy asked her mother if she could go to visit Boris and Barbara again. "Of course, dear," said Mother Bunny, and off Miffy went. She saw that leaves and tree branches had been blown down by the wind in the forest as well. When she reached the bench, she started to count. 1 tree, 2 trees, 3 trees, 4, but there were no more trees. The last tree had been blown down during the storm. Miffy was shocked. "Boris! Boris!" she shouted. She ran to Boris's house. Boris came running out of the house. "Look what has happened!" But Boris didn't seem surprised by what he saw. "Sometimes trees get blown down when there's a big storm, Miffy," he said. "But come with me." And he took Miffy out to the back of the house. "Look, every year I plant some new trees and let them grow a little. And when they're big enough, I plant them in the forest." "Can I help you plant a new tree beside the others?" asked Miffy. "Of course," said Boris. "We'll do it right away." "Now there are 5 trees again," said Miffy. And then it was tea time, and they enjoyed the delicious biscuits. One day, Miffy ran home from school, when suddenly Snuffy ran straight past her and reached the front door first. "Snuffy, you are a much faster runner than I am," said Miffy. "I could never beat you in a race." As she went inside, Miffy had an idea. "We could have a big running race with all of our friends," she said to her mother. "You and Father can come and watch." Miffy first telephoned her friend Boris Bear. "Boris," she said, "I want to organise a race, but we shall need some signs which show us the right way to run." Boris said, "Well, I'm not very good at running, but I will be happy to make the direction signs." Then Miffy phoned her other friends and told them about the race. When the big day arrived, Boris had all the signs ready. He stuck each sign into the ground to point the way. A blue sign, a yellow sign, a red sign, a green sign, and the last one, a white sign. All the runners lined up at the starting line. There was Miffy, Aggie, Melanie, Grunty, and Boris too. Barbara held the starting flag up in the air. She shouted, "Get ready, go!" And she waved the flag. Off they went, all of them running as fast as they could. Who would win? First, they all passed the blue sign, and Aggie was in front. Boris tried to run fast, but he was not used to running, and he soon fell behind the others. Then they passed the yellow sign. Now Grunty was in front. Next was the red sign, and suddenly Melanie was ahead. Then they passed the green sign. And look, Miffy was in the lead. Meanwhile, Mother and Father Bunny had arrived, but they parked their car right in front of the white sign. Suddenly, the runners stopped and looked around them. They didn't know which way to run because they couldn't see the last sign. It was hidden behind the car. As they were looking around, very puzzled, Boris caught up, puffing and panting, completely out of breath. But Boris kept on running across the finish line, and Barbara waved the flag. "You're the winner, Boris," she shouted. "I'm so proud of you." Then Mother and Father Bunny drove away to congratulate the winner, and as they started driving, all the other runners could suddenly see the last white sign, and they began running as fast as they could. Miffy reached the finish line first. But of course, she was a long way behind Boris. "How did you find the way to the finish line so fast, Boris?" asked Grunty. "None of us could see it." "Well, I knew where the sign was because I put it there myself," said Boris. "But Boris," said Barbara, "that is not fair to the others." "But I didn't run to win," said Boris. "I'm just happy that I was able to finish the race. Miffy is the real winner." Everyone cheered and laughed because the race had been so much fun. Miffy loved music, and she was learning to play the recorder. "You play that very nicely, Miffy," said Mother Bunny. "But that tune needs more players." Miffy said, "Yes, I can invite my friend Aggie. She can play the accordion." "Yes," said Mother Bunny, "and Poppy Pig plays the double bass beautifully. I will call her on the telephone and invite her to join us." On the telephone, Poppy said, "Of course I'll come. I like to play music. Can I bring my little niece, Grunty? She's staying with me this week. She plays the piano." "Oh dear," said Mother Bunny. "What a pity. We don't have a piano. Do bring little Grunty, though. We'll find something for her to play." Soon Aggie arrived, and now they could play a two-part melody. It took a long time for Poppy Pig to carry her big double bass up the hill to Miffy's house. At last, she and Grunty arrived. Then Miffy, Aggie and Poppy began to play a 3-part melody. That sounded even better, but little Grunty had nothing to play, and that was no fun for her. "We have no real piano, Grunty," said Miffy, "but I do have a nice toy piano." "I'm sure you can make it sound wonderful." Now they could all play together. How wonderful it sounded! It was a rainy day. "What shall I do today?" said Miffy. "I can't go out in the rain to play with my friends." "Well, you can help me do the dishes," said Mother Bunny. So Miffy dried the dishes. Then she swept the floor. "Thank you for your help," said Mother Bunny. Miffy looked out of the window again. Still, she had to stay in the house. "What else can I do for you, Mother?" asked Miffy. "You've helped me enough," said Mother Bunny. "Why don't you take your crayons and draw some nice pictures?" "Yes," said Miffy. "I like to draw pictures." So Miffy drew a picture of her back garden with a blue sky and the sun shining brightly. But when Miffy looked out of her window to her back garden, the sky was not blue and the sun was not shining. It was raining harder than ever. "What should I do now?" she sighed. "What shall I do, Mother?" asked Miffy. "I've dried the dishes, I've swept the floor, and I've drawn a picture." "Why don't you read a book?" said Mother Bunny. "Oh, that's a good idea," said Miffy. Miffy read a nice story about a sunny day at the beach. She looked out of her window again and saw that it was still raining hard. Her mother said, "Miffy, if you listen to some nice music, it will make you feel happy." So Miffy listened to some music from sunny Spain. But outside her little house, it began to look like the North Pole. While the music was playing, the rain had turned to snow. Mother Bunny called, "Miffy, Miffy!" Look outside. It's so beautiful. How strange, Miffy thought. It has been raining all day and Mother says it's beautiful. Miffy looked through the window. What did she see? Everything was covered with soft white snow. The sky was blue again. How wonderful! Miffy took a warm coat and a scarf. She dressed herself and ran outside where she could play with her friends at last.
Snuffy, Grunty, Boris Bear, Pop